January 5, 1968. Prague. Alexander Dubček, 46 years old, the new first secretary of the Communist Party of Czechoslovakia. He stared out the window. For 20 years, this nation had lived behind the Iron Curtain. There was no freedom of speech, no freedom to travel. But today, something was about to change. Immediately after taking office, Dubček announced a new direction. It would later be called socialism with a human face. It meant press without censorship, freedom to travel, permission to criticize, a paradoxical attempt to allow freedom within a communist system. But Dubček believed. He believed socialism and freedom could coexist. Early spring 1968. The streets of Prague. People gathered around newspaper stands. The headlines had changed. Criticism of the government. Questions about the Soviet Union. Words no one had dared speak for 20 years. People fought to buy the papers. A woman wept. I never thought I'd see this day. From spring into early summer, censorship rapidly loosened. Systems to expand press freedom were put in place. February. Travel restrictions began to ease. Long lines formed outside passport offices. To West Germany. To Austria. To France. For 20 years, they had been severely restricted by a harsh permit system. But now, the borders were opening. One man said, "I'm taking my wife and children to Paris. For the first time." March. Prague felt like a festival. Wenceslas Square. Thousands of citizens gathered. They celebrated freedom. Freedom for the first time in 20 years. A student gave a speech. "We can finally live like human beings." The crowd responded with applause and cheers. In April, the party's action program was adopted. Support for the reforms was overwhelming. But in Dubček's office, he was reading a report. Domestic support was absolute. But Moscow's response was cold. Soviet Communist Party General Secretary Leonid Brezhnev. He viewed these reforms with alarm. Czechoslovakia's liberalization will spread throughout Eastern Europe. Dubček's hand gripped the report tighter. He knew. Time was running out. April. Culture exploded. Theaters staged plays critical of the government. Cinemas showed films that had been censored. Newspapers exposed corruption among politicians. For 20 years, no one could raise their voice. But now, everything was permitted. The Prague Spring. That's what people called it. A spring of freedom. A spring of hope. But in Moscow. The Kremlin. Leonid Brezhnev was furious. Politburo members reported. Czechoslovak newspapers were criticizing the Soviet Union. Anti-Soviet demonstrations were occurring. Western nations were supporting these reforms. Brezhnev's fist slammed the table. The Soviet leadership viewed this as anti-socialist movement, with growing alarm. Options including military intervention began to be considered. In recent years, as meeting records and diplomatic documents have been released, the step-by-step process of the Soviet decision to intervene has been more thoroughly examined. June. Beyond the border. Soviet tanks began to mass. Polish forces mobilized. Hungarian troops joined them. It was called military exercises. But everyone knew what it meant. In Dubček's office, he stared out the window. Prague was peaceful. People were laughing. But he knew how long this peace would last. In his mind, two choices battled fiercely. Option A, stop the reforms, comply with Soviet demands, right-pointing arrow, freedom would be lost. Option B, continue the reforms, protect the people's support, right-pointing arrow, risk military intervention. Choose A, and he would betray the citizens. Choose B, and the tanks might come. Mid-July. Prague. A document arrived at Dubček's office. A warning letter from 5 Warsaw Pact nations, loyal to the Soviet Union. The reforms are counter-revolutionary. Dubček read the letter. His hand trembled slightly. An aide said, "First Secretary, we must stop the reforms. The tanks will come." Dubček gave no answer. It's notable that Romania and Albania refused to participate. Eastern Europe was not monolithic. Late July. Dubček flew to Moscow. A meeting room in the Kremlin. Brezhnev was waiting. "Your reforms are destroying socialism." Dubček answered, "We have not abandoned socialism. We're simply making it more humane." Brezhnev's eyes went cold. "There is no such thing as humane socialism. There is only controlled order." The meeting resolved nothing. August 3rd. Bratislava. Dubček faced another meeting. A superficial reconciliation was staged. Handshakes. Smiles. A friendly conference. But it was a trap. The conference document stated, "Defense of socialism is a collective duty." This would later become the pretext for invasion. Early August. The streets of Prague. Tens of thousands of citizens gathered in the square. "Protect our freedom. Continue the reforms." The people shouted. They raised placards. "We support Dubček." An old man said, "I'm 70 years old. I can finally breathe freely. I won't let anyone take this air away from me." But no one realized. The tanks were already moving. August 20th, 1968. After midnight. At the border, engines roared. Soviet forces, Polish forces, Hungarian forces, Bulgarian forces, 4 nations, armies. East German troops waited at the border to avoid memories of Nazi occupation. Participating forces numbered around 200,000. Armored vehicles numbered around 2,000. They crossed the border. August 21st, 1 a.m. Prague. Sound of tanks shook the city. Citizens looked out their windows. T-54 tanks. The Red Star insignia. It's the Soviet Army. A woman clutched her child. "It's over. Everything's over." 2 a.m. Party headquarters. Soviet soldiers surrounded the building. Dubček's office. The door opened. A Soviet officer entered. "Alexander Dubček, you are under arrest." Dubček stood. His expression was calm. "I have done nothing wrong." The officer gave no answer. 8 a.m. Wenceslas Square. Citizens stood before the tanks. They had no weapons. They held no stones. They simply stood. The young man shouted at the tanks, "Go home. This is our country." The tank soldiers gave no answer. 10 a.m. Downtown Prague. Citizens raised banners. Never forget August 21st, 1968. They spoke to Soviet soldiers. "Why are you here? We are not your enemies." One soldier looked away. He was young, about 20 years old. Perhaps he didn't want this mission either. 2 p.m. Downtown Prague. Gunfire echoed. Citizens ran. Screams rose up. Soviet forces opened fire. Tear gas filled the air. Outside the hospital, the wounded were brought in. One man carried his brother in his arms. His brother was 17. He'd been shot in the square. A doctor rushed over. But it was too late. The man collapsed in tears. August 22nd. The streets of Prague. Citizens continued to resist. But they carried no weapons. They threw no stones. They placed flowers before the tanks. A woman said, "We will not resist with violence, but we will not give up our freedom." Large-scale nonviolent resistance in the immediate aftermath of the invasion spread in late August, then continued in altered forms under suppression. August 23rd. Moscow. Dubček had been taken there. An interrogation room in the Kremlin. Brezhnev was waiting. "Your reforms are over. Sign this." On the table lay a document. Cessation of reforms. Acceptance of Soviet military presence. Dubček stared at the document. Something inside him shattered. August 27th. Prague. Dubček stood at the podium. His face was haggard. "Comrades, the reforms are over." The hall fell silent. A woman began to cry. A man stood and walked out. Dubček continued, "We must accept reality." His voice trembled. Recent investigations have confirmed 137 deaths, over 500 wounded, and centered around 1968-69, many left the country. Cumulatively estimated at 200,000 to 300,000 people. They fled west, to Austria, to West Germany. The Prague Spring. It ended in just 5 months. April 1969. Dubček was removed from his position as first secretary. His successor was Gustav Husak. The Husak regime pursued a policy of recontrol known as normalization. Husak declared, "The Prague Spring was a mistake from the start." Reformists were purged one after another. Censorship returned. Travel restrictions were reimposed. Everything went back to how it was. But history continued. November 1989. The Velvet Revolution. Once again, people gathered in Prague's streets. This time, no tanks came. The communist regime collapsed. Wenceslas Square. 2 men stood at the podium. Václav Havel and Alexander Dubček. For the first time in 21 years, Dubček stood before the people. He said, "The Prague Spring never ended. It was just frozen." The crowd responded with applause and cheers. Later, at the end of 1989, Dubček was also elected chairman of the Federal Assembly. The Prague Spring ended in just 5 months. But it was not in vain. The people did not forget. The taste of freedom, what it meant to live as human beings. And 21 years later, they rose again. This time, they succeeded. In 2019, the Czech government officially designated August 21st as Day of Remembrance for victims of the invasion. And in 2022, when the invasion of Ukraine occurred, the Czech people, remembering 1968, were among the first to support the nation standing before the tanks. So what can we learn from this story? First, once you've gained freedom, you must never let it go. Second, nonviolent resistance doesn't win immediately, but the memory remains. Third, power can crush freedom with violence, but it cannot control people's hearts. The Prague Spring was crushed by tanks, but its seeds lived on. And 21 years later, they bloomed. So let me ask you, power can always take away freedom, but it cannot erase people's memory. If freedom were suddenly taken from your country one day, what would you do? And resistance doesn't always win. But is it still worth resisting? Share your thoughts in the comments. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for watching until the end. The Prague Spring ended in just 5 months. But its memory brought democratization 21 years later. And even today, it continues to inspire those fighting for freedom around the world. History moves forward when people never forget. This channel continues to explore these moments of human choice and decision. If this story moved you in any way, please support us with a subscription and a like. Your comments give me strength for the next video. Until next time.